right to Jersey, where our senior correspondent Rick Leventhal rode out the night in Pleasant Beach, New Jersey. And Rick, before we get into what you're seeing and what you're saying, my guess is you've ridden out 30, maybe 40 hurricanes, and it's my understanding that even Rick Leventhal was scared last night.
You know, that's true, Shepard. It brings me back to Hurricane Hugo in Charleston, South Carolina in 1989. That was my most frightening experience in a hurricane until last night when our hotel was surrounded by waters that were coming in over the dunes and breached the dunes. This home behind us, one of countless houses here in Point Pleasant that were heavily damaged by Sandy. There was a dune there 6 to 8 feet high at least that is gone. In fact, up and down the coast, the dunes are gone. What we're walking on is a couple of feet of sand that used to be on the beach, used to make those dunes, and it all washed this way into the town of Point Pleasant and covered the roads. We're making our way towards Ocean Avenue, which is the main drag in Point Pleasant. And if you look straight down the street, you'll see floodwaters that are still here. A number of homes, dozens if not hundreds, are dealing with floodwaters here. And if you look to the south, you see how bad Ocean Avenue is. There's furniture, debris, pieces of houses. Emergency vehicles are struggling to make their way through that. And I just want to give you a quick look to the north, Shepard, because we had a front end loader come through here earlier today and clear a path so that emergency vehicles and utility vehicles can make their way down here. But the path stops right here at Washington Avenue, and they got a lot of work ahead of them, Shepard.
You know, Rick, from decades of doing this, the winds will scare you. The water will kill you. This storm, there was some wind, but the wind didn't knock houses down or roofs off in large numbers. It was the storm surge that just moved things.
Yeah, and we were warned about that, and then it happened so fast. In a matter of seconds and then minutes, the water was just puddling on the street and then rising very quickly. And we watched it breach the dunes that were at the end of that block, and it came down this street in whitecaps. And at one point, it was 3 to 4 feet high. It was engulfing cars in this parking lot. We were right up on that third-floor balcony, right there on the corner, watching vehicles being surrounded by these floodwaters, rushing down this way and into the parking lot. There was a giant shed, a boat shed that came here, broke up in the middle of the intersection, all sorts of debris. There's pieces of the boardwalk littering the sidewalks and littering the street, littering the parking lot out here.
Rick, it is absolutely incredible. Glad you and yours are safe, and thanks so much for the great reporting last night. For a little bit of context, this storm had a 13 or 14-foot storm surge. That's massive. And it slammed into one of the most populated areas of our nation, where media companies are everywhere. So there was so much coverage. A 13, 14-foot storm surge. In South Mississippi, when Katrina devastated the place, there was no media. And the storm surge was more than 30 feet. Today is bad. We have people who've lived to tell about it. That would be the difference between what happened to the Mississippi coast, for instance, and what has happened to the entire eastern seaboard. Much more coming on the tens of millions of people affected by this storm. We're going to hear from the people in charge of helping keep those flood victims safe.